Hello. I'm exhausted. Put the roof on our mule thing. Today. And like, I didn't expect it to not be a job. But I didn't expect it to be the job it was. Mostly just awkward angles and having to work with not having the exact right tools in some cases. Man, I'm tired. Finished my second run of Dread. Still really good. 100%ed it again. Probably not going to do that going forward. Because this time I pulled it in from like 10 and change to 8:17. I shaved about 2 hours off. But the thing is, I didn't get any more reward things. I'm not going to say what they are, but there are rewards that you earn from different playthroughs. And you unlock them upon your first clear, anytime, clearing it in less than 8 hours, and then clearing it in less than 4 hours. And then, I don't think this is much of a spoiler, but after your first playthrough, you unlock hard mode, and there are 3 more with the same stipulations, just hard mode. So clearing it in hard in 8 hours, hard in 4 hours. 8 hours I can do easily. If I had not stopped to 100%, I absolutely would have saved probably another. I probably could have gotten it close to 5, honestly. Well, maybe not that far down, but you know, you cut down on all my running around the in-game cleanup and instead just focus a little more on doing what I can when I can. Because it's worth mentioning, I did a lot better on bosses this time around. There were a lot of bosses that I had to do 2, 3, 7, 9 times. Plus, the first go around that I straight up got it on the first try. The final boss being one of them. Not saying it's easy now. God, no. But I'm getting to the point where muscle memory is kicking in a lot. And I have to think, I'm able to think less about what I'm doing physically. How do you best explain it? I mean, like I said, muscle memory. So I'm able to react. I'm able to react better. Christ. I'm reading attacks better. Panicking less, and most importantly, and this is always a killer for me, a lot of times I'll take a stupid hit and be thrown completely off my rhythm. especially in a Metroid game. But what I've noticed is with Dread, and maybe it's this way in other stuff and I'm just forgetting it, but I feel like in the older ones, Super and Fusion and stuff, there was a lot more knockback to attacks. And so if you're me, you could end up stun locking yourself. You have to like act. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of these situations if I would just, like, I'd get hit once and then try to push through the next hit, and you can't do that. Or overcompensate the other way and end up either off rhythm or, you know, if it's a spread attack and I'm trying to thread the needle, missing completely. Whereas Dread, there's not a whole, unless you just give up in the middle of an attack because you took one hit. A couple of bosses have attacks that hit, you know, multiple times, either rapidly or like once every couple of seconds over a period of time. And if you just give up on dodging an attack because you got hit early in it, you are going to take a ton of damage. Where you can get away with taking a quick hit, and because there's not as, you know, knockback's not as much of a thing, you can just push through and come out the other side and get back on your balance. It almost rewards that perseverance to an extent. Don't get me wrong, there are still some attacks that you can't just like, alright, first hit got me, run straight through them. No, but like, you're not, just because you take a hit early in an attack sequence, it doesn't feel almost guaranteed that you're just going to take a lot of hits in the rest of the sequence. At least for me. I think that's the point I'm making. I don't know. I'm genuinely exhausted. And as much as I was doing good today, there were a lot of times where I was just like, just stand there and take the hit, you dumbass. Well, just like, literally just move. What are you doing? Perfect example. Okay. Historically, in the Metroid series, in the 2D ones, boss doors have like some usually, like in the older games, it was like a giant eye, and it would open and either shoot at you or you could shoot at it. Without spoiling what it is or what it looks like, or even why. Well, I don't think why, because, you know, a lot of the doors in this, instead of being, you know, hit, miss, and then shoot, like, you can just shoot them. But for the most part, they revolve around the counter, because a lot of the game does. And good God, I would anticipate, hit it once, and then just start hammering the button and hope that it attacked into it. Like, seriously. It was, like, usually while openly and, like verbally out loud berating myself. Yeah, I haven't made up my mind yet, but I do kind of want to get up tomorrow and go again. Or at the very least, get up and, like, start one. There's a specific boss that I checked well, it's where I stopped for the night last night. and it was at the hour and a half mark roughly in the in-game time. And I want to get to that point again and see if I've saved time. And, depending on how I'm playing and if I've hit around the same time or saved time, maybe just say screw it and go for it. Like really, it'll be my third run. I'm getting a lot more familiar with the areas. Hopefully I will make fewer stupid mistakes where I think I remember a thing and then I was wrong, and it was literally like, seriously, there was one really frustrating one where I ran around for probably 15-20 minutes, and it was one room away from the first place I checked. Anyhow, I'm going to bed. I will catch you all tomorrow. Good night.